what it takes to deadlift half a ton? It takes accountability. Today, we're breaking down the world's strongest men with our own strongman, Jon Andersen, here on Mornings in the Lab. Yes, it is the end of the weekly loop. You got Keith Phillips here, Mornings in the Lab. Yeah, we're here to celebrate the strongman himself, Jon Andersen. But we're here to break it down with the world's strongest man. Yeah, Eddie Hall. But Eddie's not here. No, we got Johnny here today. We got our own big strongman, Jon Andersen here. Today we're breaking down a scientific approach to the world's strongest man. But before we get into it, this is Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, where we keep it raw, we keep it real, we keep it unfiltered. And hey, listen, fair warning, this is an explicit show. So, Dan Rather, if you're easily offended, you know what to do. Yeah, I see you, Dan. I see you hanging out at 4 o'clock in the morning here, checking in on us. But for the rest of you, let's get on into it. And hey, I want to remind you all to subscribe and share the channel with your friends. But here's the big question, guys. How does someone like Eddie Hall, yeah, that guy over there, one of the world's strongest men, lift a half a ton without falling apart? Half a ton. We're taking you inside a scientific study that breaks down his muscle and tendon structure, because there's a reason this guy's a beast. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about today's show. This is not just for the strongmen out there. Nope. Good time. We're talking about you too. We will talk today about how what we're going to learn today can change your training. We are going to talk about what you're aiming for, your personal best, or just trying to stay fit. Today's discussion is all about strength and so forth. And don't forget, in hour 2, we've got the morning loop reloaded. Oh yeah. We've got something maybe a little bit out of left field. We'll see. It's guys for your men out there who are, you got the weekend coming up and you might do some partying and some drinking and some fun. And then you might want to have some fun and you just might go sideways. So you might want to stick around for that coming up in second hour of Morning Loop Reloaded. But hey, why don't we do this? Let's get the team on the screen here. Let's bring up my buddy C. Marty Fit. Let's bring up my buddy Jon Andersen. Let's bring up my buddy Christine Flynn. What is going on there, teamers? What's going on today? How are you guys today?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, do you guys see the energy in the back of the green room when this is the build-up? I have to jump. I'm just fucking jumping away.
I feel like I need to slow run.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
So I'm excited about today's show. We're talking strength and Marty, Christina, when I saw this topic come across the desk this week, I was like, oh man, we got to talk strength and we got to talk the world's strongest men. And then I said, wait, we got our own strong man here in the lab himself, which is Johnny Andersen, which we are going to lean into. But before we get any further, guys, we got Johnny here on the screen with his white shirt. Christina's in black and Marty's in Marty. What's that? Is that mauve, purple, pink, or what is that today, brother?
It's pink, man. It's pink.
Yes, I
hold up.
What it was. I like that.
Hold up. This is great. Gray. I really
great today,
y'all.
Yeah.
Not in black.
And this is actually not white. This, I think you would call this teal.
Oh, teal. Oh, so we're getting color lessons this morning on Mornings in the Lab because old Uncle Keith got his sunglasses on.
You 0 for 3, Keith. Come on, man.
That's real.
Yeah, I think Keith is getting color. I think we got some colorblind in the house here.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
And of course, Marty's got his red good old Beats headphones on. But hey, listen, before we get into the fun of our 2-hour show today, I want to slow things down and pause. On behalf of myself, Christina, Marty, and all of Business Athlete Nation, I just want to pause and recognize our good friend, our brother, Johnny Andersen, lost his father yesterday, Pete. And I just want to take a moment to address Johnny and say my heart, my prayers go out to you and your family. And perhaps we could take a quick moment to reflect on Pete here, John, this morning.
Yeah, of course, we all go through losses, especially emotional ones in family. And I think one of the things that I really try to remember and I try to help people see is that usually the person that passes away, I shouldn't say usually, the person that passes away doesn't want the people he or she loves to go into some tailspin and have their life get turned upside down because of their passing. the way I look at it is you keep doing what you're doing. You live your life a little harder, a little fuller for that person. You do it in their honor. You don't use it as a reason to come off track. Use it as a reason to go deeper into your track, deeper into what your life's work's about. And for many of you guys, this might be the reason that you say, what? Life is too short. I'm going to start that side hustle. I'm going to start committing an hour or two on the side, and I'm going to find a way to do what I want to do. And funny enough, yesterday, before I found out what was the lifestyle tip, don't let a good tragedy go to waste. I'm here and I'm living those words.
Yeah.
So when someone passes, in their honor, get up, dust yourself off. They know you love them. Move forward and live your best life in their honor. Don't use it as an excuse to fall into depression, or that person that loves you is sitting there looking, going, God damn, I don't want him falling off track. I don't want her in depression. I don't want the one I love drinking because I died. So remember that. Do more. Do better. Be positive in their honor.
Yeah. Said Johnny.
If people can do that, then we can flip the script on one of those things that turns our life upside down.
Yeah, I appreciate, John, you making the time for, obviously, to hang out with us this morning. And you hear the funny thing is, Marty, Christina, not the funny thing. The awareness thing, I knew John was going to be here today. John shared this news with me yesterday afternoon, and I had some words for Pete and thought about it. And I didn't even ask John, Christina, Marty, if he was going to be here today. Because I knew he was. I know John's attitude. I know John's philosophy, and I have a lot of love for that. And I think we all can take a lot of teaching from today's moment. We all deal with grief in our own ways. And some of you might be thinking, wow, John's got no empathy for his father. No, he does. It's just he's looking at it differently. And John's choosing to celebrate his father. He's looking to celebrate John's future through the eyes of, I think I'm speaking properly, Johnny. You're looking to honor your future of your life, reflecting upon your father, because he would not want you sitting back in misery and sadness. So he's, Johnny, you got to go on, man. And I know it's hard for all of us that are still surviving, but I think that's really the message John wants to offer all of us today, which is hope for our own self, our own mirror in a time of difficulty. John?
Yeah, he was the one who got me my first weight set. I was 11 years old. Little ones where it was sand inside of a little plastic disc. So if you drop it, your shit's falling apart. And so he was the one who got me into it. Now you see I'm a little red in the face.
Yeah. So
what I do, I get up and I knocked out 500 bodyweight squats. Like, okay, here we go. I know you're watching. I know this is what you got me started in. So let's burn up some legs. So you can see that's why I'm nice and I didn't realize I was quite as rosy as I was until I got on here.
I just got a full body of chicken skin, Marty, Christina, when he said that. Marty, like just this
500?
What does that mean?
Well, I got goosebumps.
That's a piece of cake. Okay. That's a down payment, 500. I didn't have much time here because normally that would be 1,000.
Yeah. I know. Jesus, Morphe. I don't necessarily. I'm not. So it's to me. It's not so much the goosebumps, Marty, Christina, because of the 500. It's the goosebumps for Johnny having that the honor of, you know what? I know my old man's watching, in the honor of that plastic weight set. It was probably Joe Weider weight set, wasn't it, Johnny?
Back in those days, I didn't even know what Joe Weider was, but you're probably correct.
Yeah, it was probably a Joe. For those of you that don't know, it's the old guy that started bodybuilding for Keith and Johnny, Joe Weider. But I got goosebumps just knowing that Johnny's like doing his 500 squats and thinking of dad and so forth. And again, we joke here on the show, some people don't even want to do 1 or 2 squats. Johnny's doing his 500 in honoring of his late passing father. The moral of the story, nation, there's really no excuse. There's never an excuse to not do anything, even in times of difficulty.
Brother, as you say that, I just got a really interesting play on words. We need to adapt the word excuse. So we find excuses to do better, excuses to excel, excuses to become better. We need to flip that word around and make it not a bad word.
I like that. And you know what? Actually, I'm glad you brought this up. So the whole Morning Loop Nation has gone completely sideways on, which is great. Jimmy, I had a whole different thing going on, but we'll put that to reloaded here because this is important. Marty said something. So 2 things, Johnny. I love that. Christina, we got to work on flipping excuses because we always think of excuses as a negative, right? Which is, hold on, let's flip it. Look at the excuse as the opportunity in it. But Marty, you said something yesterday, which I was reflecting during post-production. And I was watching here in the gym and I sent you the text. And I haven't looked at labels ever in my life. I've hated labels my whole life until Christopher Martin said something yesterday, which really moved me. And you're like, no, man, labels are a good thing. We should celebrate them. Because when you label something, you celebrate its differences. You celebrate what's maybe good about it or bad about it. But what I took from your comment, Marty, was a label encourages conversation. A label encourages curiosity. And for a platform and a business being built around conversation and curiosity, I don't know how that is a bad thing. I spent my whole day thinking about that yesterday, going, wow, what a powerful, simple statement from the young punk on the board here, Andersen. It really moved me because I couldn't get my head away from it because, let's not run away from labels. Let's run towards them and be curious and talk about them. Christina, I'd like to hear your point of view on this.
My point of view, I think it's hard because labels can get a bad rap, but I think that we talk about if you're not labeling me, then you're not acknowledging my differences.
Yeah.
Marty says. And if you're not acknowledging my differences, you're not being intentional about creating spaces for people like me. And if you create spaces for people like me and my differences, the statistics show we tend to create spaces for all people who have differences. So it's not just about me saying, I want about me. I want you to be intentional about thinking about me, because if you're intentional about thinking about me, you're going to do the same about Marty. You're going to do the same, Rich. It's a mindset.
Yes. Yeah. Marty, comment for you, brother, before we keep moving on the show here.
Yeah, definitely. I think labels get a bad rap just because people don't know how to go about using them. People try to use a label to I guess, shut down someone else's opinion if it's different instead of having a conversation. We're in an age now where you can't have conversations. They just shut it down. I disagree with this. I think we should do this, X, Y, Z. And they'll label you in a negative way. But I think labels are great, and I think we should have more conversations.
Yeah, it's like I said, it really enlightened me. Johnny?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think that the challenge with the label is that people use them when it only benefits. They only use them if it benefits them.
It's bullet.
And I think that's the problem with the label. People will use it to step forward, or people use it to hide.
Yes.
And I think you can't have both sides of the fence.
Yes.
So are you going to use a label to kick ass, or are you going to use a label to curl up and be a bitch? And if you use labels to curl up and be a bitch, either stop using them or get to the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Because it's somebody with your label kicking ass, more than likely.
Yes.
What's that, Marty?
Yeah. I said there's someone with your label kicking ass, more than likely. So I agree.
See Marty Fit here, Mornings in the Lab, the Morning Loop, the only morning show to help you guys get going here at 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday. And we have this show here that happens with our goal to help you guys achieve those biggest goals here. So whether it's fitness, business, or personal growth, it's time to own up. Drop your progress in the comments. Good time. Are you crushing it? Did you stumble this week? I know you've been hitting it every single day. Good time. So I appreciate you joining us here in the comments. Enzo, I see you there as well in the comments as well. And YB, I promise I'm not going to flash you today. I'm going to keep the shirt on here, YB. So I like the ask, but no, I'm keeping the shirt on today. But hey, and Enzo, Johnny, Enzo's got a quick question for you. I have a question. Is Google always right? It says you are 170 centimeters tall and 140 kilograms. We'll get to that here in a few moments, Johnny. You can digest that. I don't know if Johnny can do
It says 183.
183 centimeters. Yeah. So
how'd you get 177 out of that?
That's a good question, actually. Yes.
I missed what he said, but I want to hear it.
Because
that was crazy.
The number looked like so 183 looks nothing like 177, but according to Google, 177. All right. Yo. You guys get out of here. I got some work I got to do here at this point in the show. Marty, I'm not good at math this morning.